Right here you can work, right here you can work. I gave you guys your instruction in the dressing room. I expect a clean fight, protect yourself at all times, touch up, good luck to both of you guys.
The IBF Light Heavyweight Championship of the World on the line here. Artur Beterbiev on the left-hand side there. He's the defending champion, 12-0 with 12 knockouts. Callum Johnson, the challenger, the British and Commonwealth champion, 17 wins from his 17 fights. What we have here, the two men who don't do an awful lot of talking, but they like to let their hands go. What do we need to see from Johnson early on?
I think he needs a quick, positive start. I think he needs to get on top of Beterbiev and really start forcing the pace, stay close to him. You know, you don't want Beterbiev finding his range. You don't want him backing you up behind that jab where he can line you up and really drill that right hand down the middle, which we've seen him is very, very destructive. So I think it's important for Johnson to get off to a good start here and, you know, get close to Beterbiev and keep a pace on him.
And this is very positive. I mean, he's come straight to centre of the ring here, trying to hold the centre, and though I think they weighed in exactly the same, he does look slightly bigger here, Johnson, so trying to use his advantages here and hold the centre of the ring and land a big shot.
Well, they had the next morning weigh-in with the IBF today, of course, and Johnson at that point was a pound or so heavier than Beterbiev, who's just letting those short combinations go on the inside, looks for the right to the body, catches Johnson to the side of the head, but Johnson holds his ground, and tries to throw right back over the top.
Yeah, good right hand over the top and good catch and counter left hooks. We saw Callum Smith do the damage with a catch and counter left hook against George Groves last week, and Callum Johnson landed two good left hooks there on the exchange. Good start from Johnson.
Yeah, I think the tactics are spot on here. Comes to centre and just, you know, try and land a big shot. I'm not saying that he can be completely outclassed here, but still, you know, he does carry power in both hands, Johnson, so try and land one of your big shots, especially your left hook.
Beterbiev letting go with his right hand, and Johnson just holding on a little bit here, just trying to tie him up. Cuffing left there for Beterbiev. Johnson trying to slip underneath it, throws a left back himself, followed by a right, heading into the final minutes of round one, and this has been an interesting opening round. He needed Johnson, he always needed to try and take Beterbiev into a kind of fight he's not been in before. There's definitely been a fear factor in all his opponents since that win against Tavoris Cloud.
Yeah, and I think Johnson's not the slickest of fighters, so I think sometimes your attack can be your best form of defence. I think, you know, if he's got Beterbiev, you know, under attack, backed up on the ropes, we're thinking about, you know, his defences, then, you know, it takes away from his attack, and I think that's... He started positively here, Johnson. Yeah, he's been caught with a few himself, but he's landed some good shots, and I think he'll go back to the round happy.
Right hand just dumps Johnson down. He had half turned his back there. I think he might have thought the referee would step in, but the referee was happy to allow them to continue and work themselves loose, and Beterbiev just planted a big right hand, I think maybe somewhere around the chest or neck, and it just put him straight over, and Johnson, I didn't really like the look on his face there as he got back to his feet. These are heavy shots. Well, Johnson just making his way back to the corner, and he did make a positive start. He did try and bring it to Beterbiev. Let's listen to Joe Gallagher.
Yeah, he started well, Johnson, a positive start. He wasn't overawed by the reputation of Beterbiev. He came out well. He kind of got hit with a shot there. He kind of wasn't looking or wasn't ready for the shots. I don't know if he thought the ref had said stop boxing or what, but he kind of turned away. And
well, look at the ref, he does say it. He does actually say stop. I think as the shot's being delivered.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a foul.
No, but it was a strange one, because I was actually just going to say it's been a good positive start, and then he gets caught with a shot and put down. But it was a good positive start up until that point, really. And
move it a little bit more, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Hopefully that hasn't knocked too much confidence out of him.
Let's go, let's go.
Well, it would be unfortunate if it had, because he was stuck between the ropes, and it did land right on the chin. I did wonder whether it was high on the chest. His back was to us as it was thrown there, Johnson, but he wasn't really protecting himself in that situation. But you can tell from his body language that when you feel the shots from Beterbiev, they are heavy. You expect them to be. That's a reputation that he has, but you never really know until you get in there, and you just get the impression that he has not been disappointed.
You can see where the power comes from Beterbiev. You know, he's got such a solid base. If you look at his footwork, he's always got his feet planted. He's got a nice even stance, and he really is able to deliver big shots from that great base that he has.
Yeah, and I think some of these shots that are being partially blocked by Johnson, a good right hand there from Johnson, but I think even the shots that are partially blocked, that are kind of coming around the back of the gloves, he's still feeling them. You can see he's very heavy-handed, Beterbiev.
Relocated from Russia to Canada, there were plenty of promoters after his signature, but it was GYM, Yvon Michel's outfit in Montreal who got him to put pen to paper. They were delighted about that. Boxed most of his career north of the US border, and he's got Johnson on the run a little bit again here.
Yeah, I think he caught him with a good right hand there on the exchange. Johnson trying to catch a counter with the left hooks and just missed Beterbiev there. You can see they've worked on that a lot in the gym because he's kicked. Oh, good shot from Johnson.
Down from Johnson, and down goes Beterbiev for the first time in his professional career. And he's unsteady on his feet as he goes back into the neutral corner, just blinking his eyes. Great shot there from Callum Johnson. He caught him on the inside, and what can he do now? A minute remaining in round two. Beterbiev's still very dangerous in this situation, but what a turnaround we have in Chicago.
I think Johnson's going to jump all over him here. I think he's got to keep his hands high. Don't get reckless, but certainly apply the pressure.
Yeah, he's got to let the shots go.
Catch and counter left hooks are working a treat for Johnson. Beterbiev throws the right hand but doesn't pull it back that quick, and Johnson's able to quickly counter with the left hook and land.
We've got a fight on our hands here.
We certainly have, because Beterbiev now is in territory he's never been in before. He has never been down. He has never had somebody hurt him like that. He has never felt that in a pro ring, I would wager, in an amateur ring too. So questions are being asked of him here that have never been asked before. How will he respond? This is what everybody wants to know. When you have a fighter who is seemingly invincible, unbeatable, nobody ever is.
No, no one is, and he was certainly shook there, and both guys letting go with right hands, and they're exchanging. Someone's going to get caught.
Bell goes at the end of the second round, and what's around there for Callum Johnson? He's brought about 250 with him from Boston, and let's have a look.
There was left hook, lovely shot. Beterbiev had his right hand dropped ever so slightly, and it was just enough for Callum Johnson to be able to find the chin. Actually caught the chin. He had his right arm sort of covering his temple and left his chin exposed, and it was a great shot by Johnson. Look at that left hook, beautiful shot. And yeah, it's first time he's been down and in territory he's never been in before. Yeah, it was a great shot, and it was only a short left hook, but he generated a lot of power in it. Firmly planted, and yeah, he was badly hurt there. I'd like to have seen Johnson maybe jump on him a little bit more. Not reckless, but seize the moment a little bit more.
Well, into the third, and this is so interesting now, because Johnson has got Beterbiev's respect. He must have, because he's done something that nobody else has managed to do. Beterbiev looking to launch into a right hand from close range. Johnson looking to ditch that big right hand over the top, catches Beterbiev with a left hand again there, but Beterbiev looking to work at close quarters.
This is great stuff from Johnson. This is where he needs to be. Hands nice and high, letting both hands go. Don't back off and get caught on the end of that jab. I think he's got to stay close and let those double left hooks go.
Looks so physically strong, does Johnson. You're usually saying it about Beterbiev, but Johnson really does look strong. You know, I really, honestly, you know, other than being patriotic, I really, really want Johnson to win this. You know, his story, and it really does spur you on. You know, when you've lost someone like I did with my brother, you know, to do it for them. If you can't do it with them, and you see it with Johnson now, his dad really pulling him through this and spurring him on. He's cut now on the right eye.
Lots of facial damage there for Johnson. A bit of swelling around the eyes too. Beterbiev just looking to try and get through with those straight shots, those crisp, accurate, spiteful punches that have put pay to so many opponents in his career so far. Johnson going with the left hook there, but caught one himself just as he was opening out to throw.
Yeah, got hit with a good left hook there. I mean, what's happening here is both guys are letting their shots go, they're exchanging. Beterbiev's throwing the right, Johnson's punching with him, and it's just two lands first.
You cannot blink in this one.
These are heavy shots being thrown by both of them, and it's taking some steam out of them. Just had a look at Beterbiev there, and the mouth was slightly open. He's breathing heavily at times, although he seems to have his composure back here.
And he was pushing Johnson off there because he's not used to this. We're used to seeing Beterbiev forcing the fight.
Johnson.
It was a good shot, yeah. We're used to seeing Beterbiev pushing opponents back with ease.
I like what Johnson's doing. He's not loading up his shot, he's not telegraphing them, he's keeping his hands nice and high, and he's throwing them from the clinch, from the a well-guarded position. So he's not telegraphing them, but he's letting them go, and his accuracy is good here.
Well, subconsciously, maybe, when he got Johnson over in that first round, Beterbiev would have felt like he'd seen this movie before, because previously, whenever he sent a man to the canvas, that was the beginning of the end. A multiple knockdown merchant. Nobody has been able to recover from that. In much the same way as fighters haven't been able to against Golovkin or Kovalev, but Johnson has answered him back, and this has been another brutal, grueling round as we head into the final few seconds of the third.
Remarkable sign. Records. To come up the middle. That's all he's trying to do in you as well. Keep it nice. Show you better, boxer. Check it out. Good defense.
Mark Ramsey in the corner there. Beterbiev, he has been right from the very start when he first landed in Canada and started training alongside Ramsey and the likes of Jean-Pascal and later Alvarez, who's now the WBO champion after beating Sergey Kovalev. He's another one who had to wait a long time for his opportunity, just as Beterbiev did too, and maybe Ramsey not too happy with his man in the corner there.
Well, it's been a good start from Johnson. You know, it's I give Beterbiev that round. It's 10-8 apiece, rounds 1 and 2. Beterbiev had that round for me, but Johnson did some really good stuff as well. Landed some short right hands over the top of Beterbiev's jab, doubling up on the left hook. Defenses are good. This is a good fight.
Yeah, he's really good what he's doing, Johnson. He's standing in the pocket. He's got his hands up, and he's trying to counter with short left and right hooks. Missing the target a couple of times at the beginning here, but when every lands, you feel he can hurt Beterbiev.
Yeah, he's coming over the top of Beterbiev's jab with his own right hand, then coming back with a double left hook to the body there, but also his catch and counter left hook's really effective. He's landed it several times, and this is a really good fight.
I mean, for those who haven't seen much of Beterbiev, this doesn't happen to him. You know, he doesn't get pushed back in the 12 fights that he's had to date, and even as an amateur, you know, he controlled from the centre of the ring. So, but what Callum Johnson's doing, just, you know, now pushing him back is impressive stuff.
Some damage to that face though for Callum Johnson. The eyes aren't really coming up, they're not a particularly big problem. The cut to the right corner of the eye seems to be under control, some blood coming from the nose, but this is what happens when you get in with a fighter like Beterbiev, who's looking to get on the jab, and that's a ramrod jab as he just steps into it. Those feet are a little bit busier now than they were in that previous round.
Yeah, good right hand there from Johnson. Nice, lovely right hand over the top of the jab of Beterbiev, but I'd just like to see a bit more head movement, a little more upper body movement from Johnson. He just doesn't want to stand there. It's good having the hands up, but he's getting peppered a little bit with the jab, which is coming between the gloves and through the guard, and, you know, it's busting his face up a little bit, causing a lot of eye damage.
And that could well be a factor as we head deeper into the fight. Johnson looking to try and let that right hand go, but Beterbiev just retreating to the corner. That's something he does quite a bit. You need to be careful when he tries to draw you in there.
Oh, right hand on the
Right hand, and down goes Johnson. Down goes Johnson in that blue corner. And I'm not sure he's going to make it here. His balance just seems to have deserted him. He's desperately trying to get back to his feet in time, but he hasn't made it. He hasn't made it. And the referee has weighed this one over, and Beterbiev has retained his title. But make no mistake, that was the hardest fight of his pro career. Callum Johnson felt he could come here and shock the world. It would have been an enormous upset if he got the better of Artur Beterbiev, but having been over in the first round himself, he then put Beterbiev down and gave him a scare. And really, we couldn't have asked too much more of him, to be honest. The man we're looking at here, he is a very, very good fighter. He's been a wrecking machine in his career up until this point, but he was given something serious to think about tonight by Callum Johnson.
Yeah, gave him a scare, had him down, was landing lovely right hands, landing good double left hooks off the right hand, catch and counter left hooks. His own defences were good, some good body shots going in, and you know what, he gave it a real go, and he can be proud of his performance tonight.
Yeah, it was a big right hand on the temple of Johnson there, put him down and really scrambled all his senses, and he just couldn't get up. Yeah, but I echo what you say there. I mean, he can be so proud of himself, and I know 100% his dad will be looking down at him extremely proud. What a game effort that was.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be disappointed because he was here to win, but he'll look back, it was a real good fight. He landed some great stuff, big right hand there, high up on the head, legs went, and wasn't able to recover from it. And I was glad the referee waved it off, because I think Beterbiev was probably going to line him up for some big shots. And but you know, hats off to Callum Johnson, good body shot going in there, just got caught high up on the head, didn't see the shot come in, and yeah, legs were gone, and I thought it was the ref was right to wave it off.
Well, nobody else fancied this in those IBF rankings. As I outlined at the start, Johnson was down at number 8 at the time, and he was the one who stepped up and took it. He's still the British and Commonwealth champion. There's no need for him to vacate either of those 2 titles, so he will come again. This was always going to be a huge ask, but this will encourage the others, as the phrase goes. It's a brilliant division, the light heavyweight division, with Bivol with the WBA, Stevenson with the WBC, after that superb fight with Badu Jakaleda, Alvarez with the WBO, Sergey Kovalev still in the mix there now. These days training with your old trainer Matt Buddy McGirt, and Beterbiev, and all of those. What a sumptuous series of fights we could have, but Callum Johnson certainly earned Beterbiev's respect tonight, and the respect of everybody inside the arena here and everybody watching at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Celestino Ruiz calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 36 seconds of round number 4. Your winner by knockout, and still the IBF light heavyweight champion of the world, Artur Beterbiev.
That IBF belt securely around his waist. We've given Callum Johnson plenty of props here, and rightly so, but how good is Beterbiev?